Patriots versus the Charlestown Chiefs. Brought to you by Sheehan's Rustproofing. The Chiefs have just come out on the ice for a warm-up period. They're about to try for their 5th consecutive win. They're getting a good round of applause from their own booster club, who have traveled all the way from Charlestown to be here in Peterborough tonight.
Are you a first responder, a veteran, a doctor, a nurse, a teacher, or a Let's Go Blues radio listener? Of course you are. If you're in the market to buy or sell a home, call real estate superstar Mike Burgoyne today at 314-753-4060 or email him at mike@strikewithmike.com to earn special rates today.
Cut out the coffee, cut out those energy drinks that make you crash, and put yourself in a position to succeed with an energy boost from RockinThatIDLife.com. You'll be energized, focused, and you'll even experience an elevated mood for up to 6 hours. Check out RockinThatIDLife.com to learn more.
A team that was in last place on January 3rd. The players on the bench are bouncing up. History will be made tonight in Boston.
You're watching Let's Go Blues Radio, the original St. Louis Blues hockey podcast with your hosts Kurt Price, Bill Day, and what appears to be a Peter Dinklage cosplay. So just sit back, grab a beer, and enjoy the best blues hockey talk on YouTube.
Welcome to episode 9 of season 14. This is episode number 490 all time. We are in the home stretch to 500. This is
491.
490. I just changed it to 490. It's 90. Oh, you're right. 491. So this is
491.
episode number 10.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry. Episode 10 of season 14. Number 491 all time of the often imitated, never duplicated. I'll tell you there, Bobo, either this kid has a light bulb up his butt or his colon has a great idea. We're the original St. Louis Blues hockey podcast. Let's Go Blues Radio. Do you know where that's from? If you get this, man, I'll be super impressed.
I can't remember.
Dr. Cox,
I know it.
Scrubs.
It's from Scrubs.
Yeah.
Okay. I've seen that. Yep.
I've
seen that show.
Yeah, it's a funny show. To interact with the show on social media, our handle on all the socials is at LGB Radio. I'm Kurt Price. My co-host for the big show tonight is Jeff Ponder. Bill Day is facing some trees in the chat. Says very serious, very severe allegations tonight due to the late start.
Yep.
The agenda for tonight includes discussion about this is the post-game show between for the Blues and Jets game that just completed about 35 minutes ago. And so we'll cover that and more on this episode of Let's Go Blues Radio. It's good to be back. Good job last week, guys, or Jeff, since Bill's not here. What's up?
Bill's actually hiding in my room here, so he hears you, so he appreciates it. He gives you a thumbs up. Yeah, it was a fun show last week. 2 post-game shows in a row. How about that?
I mean, schedule this time of the year is kind of goofy, so we do what we can do.
Yeah, last week it was because it was a Wednesday game and it was earlier, and we thought, yeah, let's just go ahead and do the show on Wednesday still. This week it's because literally all 3 of us have something separate going on tomorrow night from each other. So we're like, yeah, let's just do a post-game show because either this or pregame for Calgary, but that's an 8:00 start, which is a really weird time for us.
Yeah.
So
and that's a Thursday, so it's like impossible for me because I have the kids here with dinner and everything. So forget about it.
Yeah, I hear you. Yeah, for me, it's difficult because the kid's up and he's getting excited for the Blues game for me. And so it's like, stepping away and saying, hey, stay out of the basement for 2 hours. That's pretty much a no-go.
He's getting excited for you. That just sounds funny.
Getting excited for the Blues game.
Okay. He's excited for me that the Blues are coming on.
He's so excited. He watches me watch the game.
Okay, yeah. Kind of like how people nowadays watch other people play video games on YouTube.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yep. Same thing. By the way, Trees, I think, did get it in time. He got your Scrubs reference as well.
Ah, very nice. Good job. I think Bobo, if you got Bobo, it may have tipped him off. So, some announcements. The LGB Minute podcast is how many episodes now? 4? 3? 4?
Ooh, 6?
6?
I think. Yeah.
6. So you're chugging along with that, and that's released. How many times a week are you doing it? 2, 3?
Right now I'm averaging 3.
3.
There will not be one tomorrow. I'm never going to release one the same day that after we record a show.
Yep,
But
makes
I'm,
sense.
maybe Thursday, maybe Friday. We'll see. I don't know. I released one on Sunday just because I woke up Sunday morning, couldn't go back to sleep, and I was like, let's record a show. Nobody else is up yet. So I would say typically plan on about 3 a week, but we're already there this week. So we might have 4 or 5. We'll see.
And you can subscribe to that on anywhere you find podcasts, correct?
Yes. And yeah, so I mean, you know what it's like. Getting on certain platforms can be
It takes a
tough.
while.
Apple, especially. Like everything was showing up, but it wasn't coming in search. So if you were looking for like St. Louis Blues or even Let's Go Blues Radio,
Yeah.
it wouldn't come up. But now if you search Let's Go Blues, Let's Go Blues Minute, it will come up.
That takes a while for stuff to get indexed. It's not,
Yep.
yeah, it's like anything else. Search engines takes a while for stuff to come up.
Yep. But it's been a lot of fun. And
how many minutes? How many minutes is the Let's Go Blues Minute show?
It's about. I'm averaging at about 4 minutes.
Oh, that's pretty good.
Show.
That's pretty good.
So yeah, not too bad. So my way of doing it. So thanks to our friends, my friends now, because we're gonna have them on next summer. They've already said they would do it. The Zambonis, who are a pretty well-known music group.
Sure. Yeah.
That they make hockey songs, obviously. And they did a version of Brass Bonanza. And I'm like, I love that version. I literally have it on my like hockey playlist before I go to one of my games. And I just reached out and said, hey, would you be cool with me using this? And they were all about it. They were like, yes, of course. So that song they did, it's only like 2.5 minutes. So I told myself, okay, I'm going to extend it. So I went in, I edited it to where it's about a 5.5 minute version. And so that is my goal. Like, never have to extend it again. 5.5 is the longest that show can be. So that's the goal.
I should put a little parentheses, an S after minute.
Minute.
And the logo.
Yes, please.
Just real small.
As you can guess, as Kurt kind of alluded to, it's not a set day every week. It's not like every Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday I'm gonna have a show. So it's just kind of whenever I can do it, at least 3 times a week.
It's a surprise.
Yes, it's a little surprise, a nugget in the morning,
right.
That'll release. It's just, I get my kid on the bus at 7:30. I record it. Typically, it's posted by about 8:30.
It's like finding a $20 bill in a jacket pocket that you put on for the first time of the season.
That is nice, or a reefer. That you have in an old jacket.
Yeah, which I have lots of everywhere.
Yes,
in my
all
house.
of us do. But no, your best bet is to hit the subscribe button. So whatever podcast platform you use, subscribe, and that way it'll instantly pop up whenever you whenever you wake up in the morning or whenever you're on your way to work and there's a new episode posted.
It's like on YouTube. When a show is posted to go live, you'll get notified if you're a subscriber to the YouTube channel.
So again, this is not on YouTube. This is not on Facebook.
No.
It's
a
on
straight
either of those.
podcast.
It's straight podcast. There's no video component.
It's a straight podcast hosted by a gay man.
Can you say that? Is that allowed?
I just did. I just did.
All right, good. I'll allow it.
It's a different time. It's a different time, Jeff. You can say anything you want now.
That's true. Oh my Lord. It's so funny you say that because that is what my hockey team and I say now. Well, we reelected Trump, so that means we can say whatever we want, right?
It's free game. Everything, yeah. Everything's fair game.
Yep.
All right. So yeah, be sure to check that out. Subscribe to the podcast. It's a good listen. It's a quick listen. You can listen to it of the whole thing in your car on the way to work.
Yep.
So new Blues Legends podcast with friend of the show Tom Calhoun. What's his latest one?
He just had Keith Kachuk.
Okay, because
his first one was with Kelly Chase. Second is with Keith.
Well,
Kachuk.
He has a short one. His very first thing. It's with his Wayne Gretzky story.
Yeah,
but yeah,
which is a good one. But yeah, we had him on over the summer. Actually, our show was the first time he publicly mentioned that he was going to start this podcast up with the help of the St. Louis Blues. So Yeah, friend of the show, Tom Calhoun. You know his voice. You know him. Want to give him a quick shout out and say, yeah, check it out. New Blues podcast. It's not your typical blues talk. It is history with St. Louis Blues players. So
It's story time.
yeah, it's a lot of fun. I listened to the Kelly Chase one. I've not heard the Kachuk one yet, but it is a lot of fun. So definitely check that out.
And what's not on here is the Bruce Affleck being
right.
being inducted as a True Blue, right? So
Yeah, it's the True Blue Award.
yeah, and which is, I mean, Bruce Affleck for you younger folks, you may have heard it recently because of this, but he goes back a long way to a former player back in the 70s to he did radio color commentary on the broadcast for a number of years. But I mean, his voice is very unique. You know him when you hear him on the radio, and he was the first person. This was a long time ago that I heard him describe the Ruth Ornest Blues jerseys, the ones with the Blues arching over the blue note, as the worst jerseys the Blues have ever had.
Yep.
I don't think he likes Ruth Ornest too much.
No, I don't think he liked any of the Ornests.
I don't think many people did. I think he called him a carpetbagger.
Yes, I believe that's the term.
Which kids nowadays probably don't know what that means. It's not a racial slur. It very much sounds like one, but it is not a racial slur. I don't know what it means exactly, but I did it one time in school. I do believe it's in the history books. It was mentioned at some point.
A political candidate who seeks election in an area where they have no local connections. So I would guess
that's him. He came from out of town. He was
so basically someone who's like love me, but I'm not from your area.
Right.
But I love your area.
He bought the Blues to keep them here, but he wasn't from here. I think he was from California. I want to say. I'm not sure. Maybe Canada. But yeah. So and he basically was not a local guy, out of town. He bought him, and I guess he moved here or had a house here or something at some point. Anyway, congratulations to Bruce Affleck. That's a every time I hear his name, I'm like, man, that goes way back.
All right, I gotta look up where Harry Ornest is from. He was born in Edmonton, Canada, died in Los Angeles. So yeah, I'm guessing he was a California guy.
Okay, I said Canada or California. I was kind of I was right on there.
I mean, you're spot on.
I don't know how I could be any closer.
Yeah. So Bruce Affleck, he was acquired by the Blues via trade. Do you know what team he was acquired from?
I'm gonna say the Seals.
Look at you! You are all over the Blues history today.
It'd be funny if you go, but you're wrong.
Yeah, but you're wrong. No, you are right. It was the California Golden Seals in 1975.
I was not sure of that answer. It was an educated guess. So, yeah,
there you go.
Cool. It's like when I was at work one day and my cousin and I were talking about goaltenders and goals against average, and Roberto Luongo came up and he goes, "What do you think his career GAA was?" And I was like, "Well," I took a guess and I don't know what I said, and he goes, "You got it exactly." And I said, "Wow, are you serious?" I mean, I'm not going to pretend. I'm not going to pretend like I knew it. I'm just like, it was an educated guess. It was just a
2.65 is what I'll say.
I think it was 2.72 or something like that. But
let's take a look. Looking them up here. Career GAA 2.52.
Okay, I was 0.2 off today, but I was spot on back then.
Pretty good.
Which is probably it was before COVID. So anyhow, official beers of episode number 490. You can follow
491.
490. You know what? See, I missed last week, so my numbers are off by one in my notes. Official beers of episode number 491. You can follow each of us on the Untapped app. Jeff's handle is JPonder94. Bill's is Billy Blue Note 33, and mine is C Price 12. Why don't you go? Because mine is in the fridge. I'm going to grab it over here by me.
I'm supposed to go first anyway. So here we go.
Perfect.
The Christmas Ale from Breckenridge Brewery. I believe I had the Christmas Ale from Schlafly last week. But this is called a Christmas Ale, multi full-bodied winter warmer. And I think we even talked about Breckenridge last week. They do have a very good Christmas ale. So if you've not had it, it is, I think it's a little lighter than the Schlafly. You can see it's still got in my Slimer glass. Still a little darker complexion, but yeah, it's not as heavy as the Schlafly one, but it's damn good.
Did you call it a Slimer glass? Is that what that's? A
Slimer.
Slimer glass. Okay.
Yeah.
I was looking at my beer. I thought you said Slammer. I'm like, is that what they call those?
Nah, Slimer from Ghostbusters.
I'm like, I was always like that. Was a pint glass to me. I don't know. A Slammer glass sounds fun though.
That does sound cool. It's like something you play Pogs with.
I don't know. I guess. I got a torn label here. That's disappointing. My beer for the show is Backwards Bastard. That's one of
Nice.
in tribute of Bill not being here. I guess that's one of his.
I was gonna say my second beer is in tribute to Bill. It's a Founder's Breakfast Stout.
That's a different label. Is that new this year?
Yeah, I think
Because used to have the little kid eating like a with a bowl and a spoon. Huh, nice. I like the kid with the bowl and the spoon better.
Still cool.
But yeah,
Backwards Bastard. We are honoring Bill tonight, apparently.
Right. I got this for my birthday from a buddy of mine, Mr. Jeff Foster. If he ever listens to the show, which I don't think he does, but old hockey buddy of mine from a birthday in September. Cracking one open right now. Let's see. All right, Philip Broberg was activated from IR and played in his first game against the Flyers on Saturday. The Blues assigned defenseman Corey Schooneman to Springfield, who I thought played very well.
He played very well.
Yeah, I'm. If the Blues have some injury issues, which I mean, Leddy is coming back soon, which that just pushes Schooneman farther down the depth chart. Which if Leddy's healthy, Schooneman's not going to get any playing time.
No.
So, but which is disappointing because I think I like Schooneman better than Leddy right now.
I like Schooneman better. I like Perunovich better.
Yep.
Kessel.
Yep.
Pretty much Leddy is my least favorite Blues defenseman.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. I mean,
I'd like to see all those guys get playing time over him.
But Jeff, if you listen to social media, they talk about how much the other players love playing with him.
Well, yeah, he's what do they always say about Brewer? He's a locker room guy.
Right. And you know what? There's something to be said for not being the worst player on the ice. So if somebody else is on the ice that's worse than you, you're never going to look the worst on the ice.
That's true. You are the whipping boy. You quickly become that, which Kyrou has become the whipping boy with Leddy out.
Yeah, and I think a lot of that's lately. A lot of it's unfair. It's kind of like how it took a long time for people with Falk when his first season here he was god awful, and then he played much better his second season. But people still thought he was the guy from last year. It just sticks for a while.
Yep,
it takes a lot of really good play over a long time before people shake that their thoughts of him from before when he was playing poorly. But I think Kyrou's been much better lately this season.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, and hopefully we continue to see improvement from him under Montgomery. But yeah, so in this with Broberg back, he was not eased in, Kurt.
No.
He played in his first game. He played 24-08 on Saturday, -1 with 3 shots on goal. So then pulling up the stat line of tonight, which we'll get to. He did have an assist tonight, by the way. +1, 23:54 of ice time, 29 total shifts, and played very well. So, and I'm playing on the top pairing now with Colton Parayko, which we'll probably talk about later, but still very awesome to see Broberg back. I think like Thomas, a little earlier than expected. But yeah, Montgomery is not pulling punches with Broberg. Well, he is letting him just step right back into the play.
He made a comment after the Flyers game, and he said somebody asked him about the ice time, and Montgomery was like, if he's good enough to go, he's good enough to play full time. And I'm like, you know what? I mean, part of me is like, sure. I mean, if you're not ready to play full minutes, then you shouldn't be playing. So
I mean, I get if Ryan Suter goes down with an injury, I see like maybe let's first couple games, Blues, especially if they're playing well, let's ease him back in. But Broberg's a young guy, dude. Let him back out there, give him the full playing time. And like you said, if he can handle it, if he's ready to come back 100%, throw him back out in his normal position. Why not?
Well, and Suter has had he's having games where he's not playing as well as he did to start the season. So if you're going to not play Suter as much because of his age, which everybody's like saying he can't sustain these minutes every game as the season goes on, then it makes sense to put Broberg on the top pairing with Parayko and get Suter off that line. Especially with the way Broberg and Parayko play together. I mean,
yeah,
I
agree.
What's not to like?
Yeah, we'll talk about the game here in a minute, but yeah, I really like them together, and I think that is your pairing going forward, your top pairing. Unless Broberg really hits a regression point, I really think there's no point in going back to Parayko Leddy when Leddy comes back.
That'll be interesting. Yeah, I who knows how Montgomery is going to use Leddy when he comes back. I guess it depends on how. I mean, I can see sitting Joseph or sitting Kessel or whatever. But to get Leddy back in there, I hope they don't sit Perunovic. I think Perunovic has played much better the more playing time he's got. I want to see him just keep getting minutes because he looks better out there. His talent is kind of showing through a little bit this year. I'd love for Perunovic to make it hard for the Blues to just simply let him walk or trade him at the deadline for something. I'd love for him to make that decision very hard for them because he's got skills and he seems like he just needs to be out there to let the skills show and to get more minutes each game. Just keep playing, because if you're getting 12, 14 minutes a game, it's like you almost need close to 20. What do you get tonight? No, he had 11. He didn't have very many tonight. So, and 2 assists.
But he played fine. And I don't know. I really feel like more so than maybe even Berube at this point, because the Blues, they really kind of made a quick, big judgment in saying, let's fire Bannister and bring in Montgomery. I really feel like Armstrong is going to more than ever, be like, maybe since Hitchcock, be like, Montgomery, it's your team. Do what you want. So I do think there was, and this is just speculation on my part, I think there was a lot, even with Hitchcock, of we're paying Bouwmeester a lot of money. You got to play Bouwmeester. Because remember, folks, he was bad for a while. I don't care what the media might tell you.
He was
terrible. He was awful for a period, and he kept playing. And it was the same with Gunnarsson for a while, and Leddy has been awful and continues to play.
Well, when Bouwmeester first got here, he was really good until he got hurt.
Yes, and then he was awful, but they kept playing him
when he was hurt.
And so I feel like I feel like with Montgomery, because we're signing you to a 5-year deal, you're going to extend longer than the GM currently. I really feel like it's okay. We're taking off the kid gloves, Jim. You run the team how you want. So I think if Montgomery feels Perunovic is a better player than Leddy at this point in his career, Montgomery just needs to play Perunovic. So we'll see how that goes when it happens.
It'd be so much easier if this was the last year of Leddy's contract.
God, I wish.
But it's the last year of Perunovic's contract. So that's what makes it rough, because they still have Leddy for another year. So I think if ownership and management could have their way, they would. And if somebody wanted Leddy as part of a trade to get just like a 4th round pick or something, I think they would easily do that. Or a 5th round pick or whatever, or future considerations, whatever.
I think
they can't get much.
I think there's teams that'd be interested.
He's making $4 million. It's on the high side.
He's a veteran guy.
He is.
He can still skate like the wind. I mean, he's a hell of a skater. Good puck mover for a team that's battling for a Stanley Cup. I mean, that's not a bad depth piece to add for 2 seasons.
I would love to see Leddy traded at the deadline. That way a team only has one more year of his contract and then sign Perunovich in the offseason or whatever, you know.
I mean, you got to figure, who's a top team right now? Not Winnipeg, but I don't know. Edmonton. Edmonton comes to mind just because they're a hilarious team right now. But like, you got to figure somebody is like, okay, how can we improve our bottom six or not our bottom six, our bottom pairing on defense? Nick Leddy, as much grief as I give the guy, he could pretty much play bottom pairing minutes really anywhere in the NHL, I think, at this point in his career. It's just the Blues are overusing him as a number 2 defenseman.
I totally agree.
Yeah. And, so I think somebody would be interested in him.
So, I mean, and they lose Suter this offseason. I doubt they'd resign him.
Not at 40.
No. I mean, it'd be league minimum. So even if they do sign him, there's like no risk really, but still, if you don't have to, if you've got Perunovich here, you want to resign him, that you can, let Suter walk or go wherever. P.O. Joseph is his contract is the only year of his contract. So, his money would walk too if they don't want to resign him, which who knows? I don't think at this point they would, but whatever. But I think, the outlook for Perunovich being here next season now compared to what it was in the preseason, I think is a lot more before the preseason, because he played well in preseason. But in the offseason, I think the prospects of him being here next season are a little greater now than they were in the offseason.
I'm still hopeful that Ryan Suter gets traded at the trade deadline to another Central team, so then he could literally be paid by 4 Central teams at once. I think that would be fantastic. No offense to him, I like him, but man, that would be so cool.
I know you're like half joking, but if this is a playoff team, I don't think they get rid of Suter at all.
No,
I think Suter is a guy that he's league minimum. He's a veteran guy. I think for sure he's a guy that some playoff teams might want to have on the roster as as an extra guy, so.
Yeah, I agree. I think, and if this team is playoff bound, I think you definitely hold on to Suter and you say, you might not play, but if there's an injury, putting a veteran guy like Ryan Suter in there on your bottom pairing is not a bad thing at all.
Where am I at? I
think we got to take a break there, Kurt.
Right. No, I was going to say the Broberg, we did talk about his -3 with 3 shots on goal on Saturday. But yes, we are overdue for a break. On the other side, we'll get into tonight's Blues win over the Jets. Impressive win over the Jets. You're listening to Kurt and Bill on Let's Go Blues Radio.
No, you're not.
We'll return after these messages.
As a hockey player, Mike Burgoyne knows a thing or two about making the perfect play. And when it comes to real estate, he's always ready to score the winning goal for his clients. If you're a first responder, a veteran, a doctor, a nurse, a teacher, or a Let's Go Blues Radio listener looking to score the home of your dreams, you'll receive special rates with Mike. Go ahead, shoot some questions his way, and he'll have the answer quicker than Curtis Joseph on a breakaway.
Curtis Joseph got the pedal down!
Any barriers? Mike will mow them down like Chris Pronger in front of the net. He'll score you your dream home or sell your existing home faster than a Brett Hall one-timer.
Flip past the Hall, he shoots, he scores!
See Burgoyne's real estate prowess in action today by emailing him at mike@strikewithmike.com or by calling 314-753-4060. That email again is mike@strikewithmike.com, and that phone number is 314-753-4060. Getting Mike Burgoyne on your team will be the boost your power play needs.
Hey guys, it's Jeff. The fun, energetic host of Let's Go Blues Radio. I know I give off a natural energy and cheerful glow, but as I've gotten older, I've realized I need a kick in the pants to get going. I've tried it all, from forcing myself to drink coffee to picking up an energy drink every morning, but none of it provided true, sustainable energy without crash. Luckily, my friend Dustin at RockinThatIDLife.com told me about their product, Energy, which provides exactly what I need. The first thing I do every morning morning is fill up my shaker bottle with water and a small energy packet, and within minutes of drinking it, my day truly begins. I feel motivated to get going on my work and feel the mental focus take effect as I dive into what I'm doing. I don't crash, and I feel like $1,000,000 throughout the day. Reach out to Dustin today to experience how much better your professional life can be. Email him at rockinthatidlife@gmail.com and get $10 off your first order. That's rockinthatidlife.com, and that email again is rockinthatidlife@gmail.com. Don't let a lack of energy keep you from being who you want to be.
Yes, and as you can see, there are a lot of different ways to stamp out thirst with refreshing Stag beer. Now, one of the most popular is this handy six-pack. People like the six-pack because it saves space in the refrigerator, lets them keep more good, cold Stag beer on hand. And you know, when you've got Stag on hand, you've got a mess.
And now, back to Let's Go Blues Radio, the longest running St. Louis Blues podcast with Price, Ponder, and Day.
Tonight's game, welcome back to Let's Go Blues Radio. Kurt and Bill, welcome you back from break.
Now, let me tell you about my save of the week. As I take a sip of my Founder's Breakfast Stout.
And I kick back in my vest.
Ascot.
With a fireplace behind me and my pipe.
I do picture that's how Bill is when we're not around.
Slowly crosses his legs and just leans back and deeply exhales.
Honey, where's my New Yorker?
I'm finished with the Wall Street Journal. Bill's listening is like, you fuckers.
Yeah. I will say, though, we do still have Bill's Save of the Week that we're going to do later. So
we are doing, yes, we are doing
that.
We are going to step in for Bill, and
Are we both going to act like Bill, or are we just?
Oh, well, I don't know. We'll play it by
see.
ear.
We'll see how it goes.
We're gonna tag team this bad boy. We're gonna go family style on his save of the week.
I'm all for going family style.
Tonight's game, Blues were in Winnipeg. It was Hofer versus Hellebuck. Did you have any reservations about the decision to go with Hofer in this game? It being a division game, the one of the best teams in NHL. Bennington's coming off a really good performance against Philly.
Yes.
Well, off a couple days rest too.
I did. Not as much as I probably would have last season, because I do think we said last week, Bill and I, that we want to see Binnington basically just get him all the starts, get him all the wins. Like, I'm so tired of looking at other teams that have come in the Blues same year, same time frame as the Blues, and them having goalies that have over 300 wins, and the Blues are celebrating 152 career wins. I mean, it's ridiculous.
You celebrate what you can. We're like an expansion team.
And I'm not, that's not a knock on Binnington. That's a knock on this organization, just never sticking with a goaltender. But yeah, I would love to see that. But at the same time, I do think there is some push in the organization to play Hofer at least 50-50, well, maybe not 50-50, 60-40. And Montgomery's come in and he's played against two of the best teams in the league. Hofer played against the Rangers and now against the Jets. Granted, the Jets are not what they were to start the season, but still a solid NHL team, still leading the league in points. But yeah, I'm okay with it, but I don't know if it's me, if I'm head coach Ponder, I'm riding Binnington after that game on Saturday, because that was one of the best goalie performances I've seen this team have in years.
Totally agree. I was a little surprised, but I'm like, I mean, Hofer's, he's capable of playing well, and he's won 2 of 3 starts in his career against Winnipeg. So, it's the Blues' first win in they've lost 5 in a row in Winnipeg.
Yeah, and let's add too that they've played the Central Division 4 times this season,
wins.
and they lost them all. So this was like, we need to get a change in here somehow to change the momentum a little bit.
No Falk in this game was something happened. He wasn't in the pregame skate. He was there for the morning skate. So something happened there. I don't know if they covered it after the game or what, but I have not heard.
I saw in the post-game write-up that it was an upper body injury.
Okay.
That's all they've said. So, yeah, Scott Perunovich was a late addition to the lineup.
Which, like I said, 2 assists played 11 minutes. So he didn't take pregame. They said he did not take, or did he take pregame skate? He said he wasn't.
He took pregame.
Okay. That would make sense.
I thought it was
that makes
later
sense.
in the day. It was like still like 4 or 5 o'clock when they realized Falk was going to be out.
The Jets, I'm gonna go here and count. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. 8, 9. It is 3. I miscounted earlier. I thought the Jets had only won 2 of their previous 9. They've won 3. So they're 3 and 6 in their
after ridiculously 15-1 start.
Right.
Yeah, which always happens, right? Teams always come back down to earth.
Every time.
Fun like that.
Every time. And then when Boston last year, when they then went a crazy run at some point, and they had a great season, fantastic. But I was like, when they lose one, they're going to lose a few, and they did. Yeah. It was like you win 10 straight, and then you lose 3 straight. It's just kind of how that works, and that's what's happening to Winnipeg now. Everybody and their sister said, they're going to come down to earth one of these games, and it's happening now, and they're not even in first place anymore. After their start 15-1, and they go on a 3-6, I guess 3-7 run now, and it's like, which isn't like a god awful stretch for it's
a team that had that much of a lead early in the season,
right?
Too.
And now that was it. Dallas caught them. Is that the?
Yeah, they're having injury issues. Mark Scheifele's not 100%. He did score tonight, but he's not been their face-off man. We'll talk about face-offs in a little bit.
They're first place. Sorry, they're in first place in the division, not in the West. That's how I was looking at.
Yep. And Nikolai Ehlers is out right now. They've got a defenseman out too. I can't remember what his name is. Younger guy, but
I'm sorry. I keep interrupting, but I'm correcting myself. They are in first place in the West. Well, what the fuck was I looking at? I was looking at they're in first place. They're in first place in the entire league. What was I looking at?
That's what I thought they were, but oh well.
Yeah,
they're losing. They're losing their
second.
giant lead, though.
Yes,
they had like a 9-point lead on the rest of the league, and now it's only at what?
It's
3 points.
3-point lead, and Carolina, who's trailing them, has a game in hand. So if they win that game in hand, they're only a point down. Also, same with Minnesota.
Keeps winning.
They're 4 points behind them, and Minnesota's got to come back down. They're 14-4-4. That seems really high for them, but
yeah, they'll come back down to earth. I'm not a believer in Minnesota.
They're only a plus 17 goal differential, and they're 14-4-4. They're winning some tight games. Jeez.
Yeah, agreed.
Plus 17, and they have 14 wins.
Yeah,
that's crazy. All right, so and so it's always the Connor and Scheifele watch, right, when the Blues play the Jets, because they just tear up the Blues. Every game it's like Connor scoring a goal.
So let's go ahead and talk about this great new podcast called the Let's Go Blues Minute. If you decided to listen to that today, you would have heard this stat that I threw out. Kyle Connor has scored, going into this game, 14 goals, 17 assists, 31 points in 24 games against the Blues in his career. In his last 4 games against the Blues, he has 5 goals and 1 assist. So he is a Blues killer.
He didn't get squat tonight, though.
Yeah, he didn't do anything. Scheifele ended up scoring a pretty big goal for them late, but it ended up not mattering. Except canceling the shutout bid. But yeah, Kyle Connor, and dude, I got to tell you, man, I don't know if you feel the same way. Every time the puck was on his stick, I'm like, God damn it, here we go.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I just kept picturing him just roofing it top shelf over Hofer.
Yep.
There was a play in the second period where he came in like 1-on-2, and I thought he's going to cut up the wing, slide in front, and then score a beautiful goal. But the Blues got back. I want to say, I can't remember who it was. Somebody back checked. It was a forward. and ended up poking the puck off his stick. And I was like, oh, thank God. Like, Blues are basically triple teaming him at this point.
Blues did a great job tonight, getting sticks in lanes, sticks on pucks. They didn't. I mean, first period was fun, a little back and forth. I think the Blues had the better scoring chances in the period. Bolduc missed on a breakaway early. Good shot. Blocker side.
He's been so good since the coaching change.
I mean, it wasn't one of those shots where it hits the goalie. He had to actually extend the block or make that save or it was going in. So great shot, great save. Just a good hockey play. And midway through the first, Hofer robbed Connor on a rink-wide one-timer. Slid across, pad save. Great save. And I'm like, of course, it's fucking, it's early in the game. Midway through the first, Connor gets a great scoring chance. Get fucker. Hofer, first period, 3 bad giveaways with the puck.
He did look shaky.
And Rivers said maybe the Jets have a tell on Hofer, or they studied him and they know what he's going to do. I think they cleaned it up in the second period, but there were three pucks that the Jets intercepted.
I noticed I feel like they weren't completely rimming the puck around the boards on him as much. I feel like when they would shoot it in, they tried to angle it a little bit to kind of cross him up. And I think it worked in the first period, but I think either him or the coaching staff or maybe even the defense adjusted, and we didn't see any issues in the second and third period. But yeah, at first I'm like, oh boy, Hofer, just stay in the crease this period, bud. Like, stop leaving.
Somebody on Blue Sky posted what's his name? The Sportsnet Toronto Maple Leafs fan.
Steve Dangle.
Steve Dangle. Yeah, sorry. His phrase when goalies, he has clips of goalies messing up. He goes, "If you're a goaltender, tend the goal," which I think is, I know what he's getting at, but I'm like, calm down, because goaltenders playing the puck is a very important part of team's defensive scheme. It breaks up the forecheck. It eliminates, rimming the puck around and crashing the far side by the opposing team. So and if you got a good puck handler as a goalie, it's huge. It's absolutely huge. You shut down their forecheck instantly by doing that. But I understand. He shared that, and I was like, I get it. This is
So Doug Stolhand of the Puck Podcast, friend of the show, Doug Stolhand, he has always said that if he had a goal, if he was a coach, he would tell his goalie, "You are never leaving the crease. You leave the crease, I'm pulling you." And I completely disagree with that. I'll admit, I used to understand it, and I'd be like, okay, I get that, because there's too many flip ups with the puck, the puck over the glass, turning it over in the slot, whatever. But when I see now the Blues, the way their defense and their transition game relies so much on a puck handling goalie, because they have 2 of them now that are so good at it, that I'm like, yeah, that's part of this team's strategy, is to have the goalie play the puck. So for me, it's like, you got to continue to do it.
They have 2 of the better stick handling goalies in the NHL. I mean, it's now 25 years ago, I'd agree with our friend Doug, but today's NHL, if you have a goalie that's capable of just playing the puck, even it's an average stick handling goal, you have to. Yeah,
I mean, even 15 years ago, it was few and far between. You had a good, a reliable, I trust this guy to play the puck. Mike Smith comes to mind. There was a few of those guys skating around. Now it's like, I'd say a good 12, 13 goalies in the NHL are exceptional at playing the puck.
Well, and the way it started out was goalies would leave the crease and go behind the net to stop the puck, and they'd leave it there. Now, on rim arounds, but they go out, they stop it, and now they advance the puck up the ice. They'll pass it up to, pass it up the boards, bank it off the boards, play it off the glass. It's almost, I mean, it's getting to the point where if you don't have a goalie that's capable of at least, being decent at it, that's a hindrance now. I mean, you're the rest of your team has to pick up that slack, and you're doing a favor to the forechecking team. So I agree. I don't think, I think people who are against that kind of thing, or maybe a little old school. Nothing wrong with that, but I just think that's just the way NHL is now. You have to adapt to that because this. I mean, if your defense can handle it, great. But it makes it so much easier on your D. How many?
Well,
it happens a lot where they just break up the rush and all of a sudden back the other way, out the zone. The Blues are going.
Speaking of just goaltending in general, I thought, especially in that first period, my God, the goaltending was phenomenal.
Oh,
both Hellebuck and Hofer were so good. Reading the puck well. The defenses I thought played pretty well too, but it was just the goaltending, man. They made some insane saves to keep both their teams in it.
I think the Blues defense was far superior to Winnipeg's in this game. I thought because Winnipeg was giving up a bunch of odd man rushes, a couple breakaways, a handful of odd man rushes. Blues may have given up a couple odd man rushes. I was
nearly as much as we saw in the Philadelphia game.
Yeah.
Whew. That was brutal. Binnington faced 3 or 4 breakaways in that game. Like this, it was much tighter this game, which is crazy to say because lately Winnipeg's had the Blues' number.
True.
But the Blues played very, very well tonight.
And they give credit to Philadelphia. They're playing some really good hockey right
They
now.
are.
They're playing great. So the Blues ran into a hot Philly team, and they got a point out of it. So,
fun notice I made on this game. So I had to switch over to the Winnipeg feed for a little while. I heard this guy on the call, and I didn't recognize his voice. Doing color commentary for the Jets, and he mentioned that he started his NHL career in 1995 with the Blues. And I was like, "Who the hell is this guy?"
95.
And I started looking him up. I couldn't figure it out, but then I finally found him. And do you remember the name Kevin Sawyer? He literally played like 12 games for the Blues.
I mean, I want to say it sounds vaguely familiar, but I don't know. No, I mean, not particularly.
Yeah, and so when I finally saw the name, I thought, "Is that who that is?" And then, like 5 seconds later, it flashed up on the screen the commentators' names, and I'm like, "Holy shit!" Like that's a guy that I have completely forgotten about. So there's a good Puck Doku, maybe a guy who played less than 20 games in the NHL, Kevin Sawyer.
Wow.
But yeah,
good for him.
It was funny to see that. And then he I mean, just like you always hear with these announcers, he just raved about how much he loved playing in St. Louis. Talked about how great of a city we are. The fans are great. Management takes care of their players. Talked about that all night.
We talked about Winnipeg struggling recently. Their first, they got something on TV here. I just paused it. First 16 games, 15-1-0. Goals per game, 4.6. Goals against, 2.1. Power play, 42%. Penalty kill, 81. Last 3 games, 3-6-0. Goals per game, 2.3. Goals against, 3.2. Power play, 14.3%. And penalty kill, 77. So as you'd expect, numbers across the board worse during their 3-6. 3-6 streak. 3-7. It was 3-7 last 10 games. If it was 3-6 before tonight, why are they doing this? If it's 3-7 after tonight's game, why not go the extra game? Whatever. Okay. Come on, Bally's. Second period. I first off, coming out of the first period and into the second, Bolduc gets a nice scoring chance in the second. I'm like, man, he's had a great game. The first period, Bolduc was all over the place, creating chances around the net. A lot of touches. Good to see, and is letting the shot go. So, what did Bolduc have for shots? I'll say that, and of course, watch him not have hardly any. He had 1 shot tonight. So,
it was a breakaway.
Yeah, and again, good shot. Kyrou almost scores, but Fleury pulls it off the goal line almost.
Oh, that was, and hey, now you look at it, that would have been a hat trick for Kyrou. But yeah, that was a hell of a play by Fleury to pull it off the goal line. And that was when I was watching the Winnipeg feed. And I like what Kevin Sawyer said. He said, we're used to a Fleury pulling the puck off the goal line, just not used to it being that Fleury.
So a good chunk into the second period, I was like, this game is so far is a complete 180 of the last time the Blues faced the Jets this season. Blues are playing very well. They're getting to the net, odd man rushes, sustaining zone time in the offensive zone. Hellebuck was the one keeping this game scoreless. And again,
Yes.
Hofer was making some great saves too. But the Blues were controlling this game, especially in the second period. The Blues took this game over.
Did
in the
you
second
see the second period shots?
18-3.
19-3.
19-3? They changed it. Okay.
Yep.
19-3.
Yep. 19-3. And then not even just that. And again, on the Winnipeg feed, they were talking about this a lot. With Mark Scheifele, I guess it's maybe a hand injury that it's undisclosed.
Yeah, he wasn't taking faceoffs.
He's not taking faceoffs, which
Right.
is crazy because he is usually one of the better faceoff men, at least in the Western Conference. He did take some tonight. Was the first time he's taken them in a little bit. He was 6 for 15, which is awful for him.
Yeah.
40% on the faceoff draw. It through 2 periods. Winnipeg had won 29% of their faceoffs.
Yeah.
And keep in mind, folks, any 50-50, the scorekeeper always gives it to the home team. If it's one where it's like it's contested at the faceoff, they will always give it to the home team. So Winnipeg's the home team here, and they're at 29% through 2 periods. That is absolutely bonkers.
Yeah, he's about a 50% guy on faceoffs usually, and tonight was bad. So Kairu's stick was held in the defensive zone. Blues got power play. Neighbors had 3 or 4 good whacks at a chance at the puck.
And that goes to your point about Winnipeg's defense being far less superior than the Blues defense. He got 3 solid whacks.
Yep.
Like, how is he not boxed out before that happens?
And credit to Hellebuck for keeping that puck out, because that was just, I mean, he had his first 2 whacks were pretty good, and his third one he really shoved at it, and it didn't go in. Hellebuck held his ground, and the puck ended up squirting by him to the side of the net. Kept out somehow.
We'll talk about the Holloway goal, I'm sure, but like that was on a rebound that really there should have been a stick there to not allow Holloway to get that rebound off his own shot. And yeah, again, just goes to show like Winnipeg is not playing the same hockey they were playing 2 months ago.
Midway through the second period, still no score, but you felt I did anyway. I felt like the Blues were going to break through soon, because they were dominating the period. And you just had that feeling. You know how you get when it's the other way around, tables are turned. You're like, man, they just keep coming waves against us, and you can just feel a goal coming soon. You just know it's going to happen. And I had that feeling with the Blues at this point. 2 icing calls go against the Blues. The icing calls this game, I don't know about you, but I was like, there were 3 or 4 like, what? Really? That's an icing? Or that should be an icing. It wasn't. They were like, and they were all going, I don't want to be a homer, but they were like all going against us. Every time it was questionable. It was like, nope, that's not in our favor. Didn't end up hurting us.
Not worth the debate now. It's we're doing a little bit of a later show tonight, but yeah, I feel that way a lot with the hybrid icing. I'm still not convinced that's the best way to go for the NHL, but still, yeah. I mean, there was a couple 50-50s that I was like, that's not, let them play.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah. The one went right through a defenseman at the point, and they said, couldn't play it. I'm like, what? Could have played that.
Yeah.
So, and the Winnipeg goes on the power play after a questionable icing. There was a slash on Walker. 2 decent chances for the Blues the Blues were on the power play, and then 2 decent chances for the Blues on that. Because there was my notes are all fucked up here.
Yeah, I can tell.
No. So okay, whatever. Well, only 10 shots against the Blues with 4 minutes to go in the second. I think they only had 11 through 2. Is that what it was? Yeah, I was like, geez, that is fantastic. Playing a great 200 game so far in this game. The Blues were. Tripping call on Neighbors, and then Winnipeg negated that power play with an interference call right out of the face-off, which is like, thank you. And it was 4-on-4, and that
was a stupid play by who was that got the penalty?
I don't have it marked down
because it was Walker who got the original penalty for the Blues, which that was just a a slap. I mean, that's part of the game. It happens.
He got him.
It was. I'm sorry. It was Neighbors that got the tripping. Yeah, Neighbors on Adam Lowry.
Yes.
And then it was Velarde. Interference literally 4 seconds later. And it was like, what are you doing, man?
Oh, like, that's most interference calls at the face-off. You know, you don't have to do that. What are you doing?
No, the puck, like, it was won well enough for Winnipeg that they got the puck at the point. You could have let the guy go, and they still would have had possession of the puck. Like, it was just a stupid play by Velarde.
Most of those interference calls off the face-off are like unnecessary. It's just you don't have to do that. Even if you know the face-off isn't won clean, and if you don't run interference, they clear the zone. So what? Then you come back in, 10, 15 seconds later, and you resume your power play. You don't have to take a penalty and anyway. That happened, and Kyrou scores on the 4-on-4, on a 2-on-1. Great saucer pass from Schenn. Holy shit! I mean, you practice this shit. You see them before the game sometimes, just saucer passing it, sideboard to sideboard, rink wide, and they're just like hitting tape, and that's why they do that. You want a saucer pass, right on the blade.
That was elite. That was a Robert Thomas.
That was
on a 2-on-1. That was like, because it landed flat. I mean, perfectly flat. It was hard to where it was like, if it did get deflected, there's still a chance that who scored the goal? Kyrou. There was still a chance that Kyrou would have still been able to receive it. Just a great all-around play. And then, and it was kind of something out of nothing too, because they came up the boards, like they were battling for the puck, and you thought, okay, puck battle, maybe we get a 2-on-2 the other way. They just spring out, and I think they had been out there for a good 30 seconds, 40 seconds already. So they're at the end of their shift, and they end up just springing up. Schenn's got speed coming up the wing and feeds Kyrou in front. Luckily, Hellebuck makes the save, but did it go out? Was it Scheifele? It went off his foot.
Scheifele's skate, yeah.
Yep.
And it's one of those things where it's a really well played goaltending battle, right, up to this point, and then it's one of those kinds of goals that goes in. It reminds me of a goal that would go in against the Blues when Bouwmeester was playing like shit. Like that would happen to him.
Yep.
That would go off his skate and him. So that's that was that broke the tie, the 0-0 tie. And then Holloway scores 39 seconds later on another elite pass from Thomas. I mean, this was a fantastic effort by Holloway. The shot, the save, and the rebound to chip it under the bar with not a lot of space as he's gliding in after the shot. Fantastic reaction, hand-eye coordination, all that good stuff. But that is as nice as that was. I think that's going to overshadow the pass from Thomas. That was an amazing pass.
Yeah, it was.
And it caught Winnipeg off guard as Holloway's breaking, splitting the defense, and he just, tape to tape, right? I mean, it didn't look like there was anything there, and he found the hole. It was fantastic.
Yep. Well, like I said, he gets his own rebound, pokes it in. We talked about him last week, but man, Dylan Holloway. We knew we were getting a good player in Dylan Holloway. We didn't think we were getting this. I mean, right? Like Broberg, yes, I still say Broberg is the better player of the two, and we're gonna be talking about him for years. But man, Holloway has been a great addition for this team.
What's the Edmonton Oilers podcast? The gentleman we had on,
Oilers Live.
Yes, Oilers Live. So remember the discussion we had with him about Holloway and Broberg, and I don't know who brought it up. Was it a listener? I think it was a listener, and we asked about Holloway being a 20-goal scorer, and he was. I don't know if it was on the air or it was off. I don't know, but he said that he downplayed. He goes, no, he doesn't have a history of that. I don't think that's going to happen. I think that's being optimistic. And I was like, well, if you look at his trending, he's trending up. A couple of years. It's not long, but and he's got 8 goals in 26 games played. So he's on pace for what, 26 goals or something. So I didn't think it was unreasonable to expect 20 goals based on his, his career path so far, early in his career. Obviously a player in his career can go either direction, but he's on pace, and I think he will get 20 easy.
I think so too.
Yeah, based on what he's playing.
He's getting top 6 minutes too. Top 6 minutes for the Blues. And the way he plays, again, maybe these guys slow down a little bit as the season goes on. That was the kind of knock that Michael from Oilers Live said was Broberg and Holloway are yet to play a full NHL season. So yeah, maybe there's a chance they slow down in January, February.
Right.
But again, we talk about it with these guys being young. They're young. They have energy. They're ready to go. Jim Montgomery is a hell of a motivator from what we're told. So it's reasonable to think that these guys are ready for an 82 game season.
And them not having played a full NHL season, I mean, I understand the cautiousness of the optimism. Like be cautiously optimistic because they haven't played a full game. It was like Bennington, he hadn't played, when he took over for the Blues, he's he hasn't played as many games. You hear that all the time. And what do they end up doing? They end up playing a full slate of games. And a lot of times it works out okay because they're good players.
Well, and let's face it, at some point, every single good player ends up playing in the whole season.
Right.
So you could have made that comment about Connor Bedard last year. I mean, granted, I know he was injured, but going into the season, he never played an 82 game season before. So why would we be sitting here talking about how he's going to be a candidate for the Calder?
Right.
Eventually these guys have to get there. And once they're there, then you say, okay, that's not an issue anymore. But going into it, people question it.
Oh, for sure. And him not having played anyone not having played a full NHL season is not an automatic disqualifier by any means.
Right.
It's something you take into consideration if you're optimistic about players. Like, well, he hasn't done this. I expect him to do this, or I hope he does this. However, he hasn't played a full NHL season, so we'll have to wait and see. I wouldn't say that he can't do it just because he hasn't played a full NHL season, because that's I don't know. I think, I'm not saying he did this, but there were a lot of Oilers fans that were really negative on Broberg and Holloway after we acquired them. Right.
Yep.
It's just a natural thing that some sports fans do, is that they automatically want to hate on the guys and wish them and say they're terrible. Right. And just because, we don't have any more, you got them, so they suck.
Yep.
But
I agree.
That's kind of funny. So Broberg hits the crossbar right after this, after Holloway scores on a fantastic chance in tight. Beat Hellebuck. If that one goes in, if it were in St. Louis, the roof would have came off the building.
Oh yeah.
Because there'd been 3 goals in like a minute and a half or something against one of the best teams in the NHL to go up 3-0. Dominant period for the Blues. 19-3 we mentioned in shots for the Blues in that period. Fantastic period. One of the best periods of the season, if not the best period of the season.
And again, listen, we've already said it a million times. Not the team that Winnipeg was a month and a half ago.
No,
but
the Blues aren't the same team either.
Exactly. But still, they are still one of the top teams in the NHL right now. And the fact that the Blues, honestly, did not, to me, play a very great game against Philadelphia and have been kind of sputtering. And they've played better since Montgomery's took over, but still, a little, what are we going to see? Which team are we getting tonight? And then they come in and have a second period like that against Winnipeg. I mean, that was awesome. That was so good to see.
Yeah, I mean, it's a small sample size, right? So far, 4 games? But they're 7 out of 8 points with Montgomery so far. 3 wins, no losses, 1 overtime loss.
Structure-wise, I feel like this team, and it's not a knock on Bannister. It's that Montgomery, from what I hear, is an X's and O's guy. He's a guy that, he's got a system, he's got a structure that he preaches and makes his players go by, and molds his players into the system he thinks he needs to play. Have you noticed a difference? I mean, granted, it's again small sample size, middle of the season he took over, so you're not going to get a full training camp with him. I mentioned last week, just in 2 games, I felt like the penalty kill looks a little different. They've got I think they got more of a diamond formation right now, 3 guys more down low than they used to have, and I think we're seeing pucks funnel to the net a lot more. Now this game in particular, yes, the Blues way outshot Winnipeg, but I felt like they were ever since Montgomery's taken over, it's been get the puck to the net and have guys like Neighbors and Joseph and Walker and Toropchenko. Like, these guys are going to crash the net. Just get the puck there. We're not going to out finesse all these other teams. We're going to score the ugly goals. And I feel like we're seeing that a lot more under Montgomery.
I think I agree with you, but I think really it's just I'm going to simplify it a little bit. I see better execution in the details of their game. I see I don't want to say more of an effort, but I almost want to say there's almost better concentration or better synchronicity. There are some games that are Bannister, especially those last 7, 8, 10 games, where it was like this team was like, what are you guys doing? They're out of sync. Nothing is working. They can't score. They're not getting the puck to the net. And right away when Montgomery took over, I mean, we have 45 or whatever was shots on goal in that first game. I'm like, we hadn't seen that in a long time. And they made a concerted effort to get the puck to the net. And that's, we were yelling about that on the show. You know, we don't want to be those guys that say shoot, shoot, shoot. But come on, shoot, shoot, shoot.
And it was like, back in when this team had, one of the best offenses the Blues have ever had with Buchnevich, Tarasenko, Shen, O'Reilly, Thomas, Kyrou, like, and the idea was it's quality over quantity.
Yeah, but
that was fine for that team. Like, there was times it was frustrating as hell because it was like, you had an open net and you still passed it. But it was like, they're still putting up 4 goals a game. So you can't really complain. But this is not that team anymore. Now, this is a team, like I said, I think that needs to score the ugly goal way more often. But we're still seeing this team like, it's a 3-on-1. Everyone's got to touch the puck at least twice on this 3-on-1, And it's like, no, just get the fucking puck to the net. And I think we're finally starting to see that.
I think they've been a lot more responsible defensively in their own end. I think they've tightened things up defensively, and more pucks towards the net in the offensive zone. More guys are shooting when they have the chance. And I think it was said at one point, get the shot off quicker. And it's something that we've talked about in this show. It's like too many guys dusting the puck off, making the extra move, making the extra pass. No, you got a chance, take the shot. Take the shot, crash the net, get the ugly goal. That's what they're doing, generally speaking. So
Waterbug in the chat on YouTube says Oil about to get shot by Vegas, by the way. Yeah, Holloway and Broberg both got points tonight. So,
Oh God. Does Kapanen play for them? I haven't checked. Is he playing for them?
I would imagine he's playing. I would imagine he's done absolutely zilch. So that's my guess.
Should look it up here.
I'll look it up. I got
it.
Okay,
you look it up.
Keep going.
All right. So to start third period, good glove save by Hofer on Pionk on a 2-on-1, where Kessel got caught up at center, kind of missed a check, got bounced off a body on the boards the wrong way, and boop, they went the other way, 2-on-1. So this was good. Came down left wing, shot low glove. Hofer made the save. Goes in the stat book as a simple save, but that's a big save. It's 2-on-1 early in the third. If Winnipeg scores there, it's 2-1, and then they got momentum. Who knows what happened?
Yep.
So yeah, that was a big. I like that. That was a bigger save than probably most people give credit for him making.
I mean, I think everyone knows what the save of the week is this week, but in terms of like big monster, like the Blues needed that.
Yeah.
Hofer had some fucking huge ones tonight. The one we mentioned in the first period on Connor, and then that one there. I mean, the dude was electric tonight.
Hofer was very
without
good.
him, the Blues don't win this game. And
without Hellebuck, the Jets don't win that game either because the Blues were all over. I mean,
right.
Hellebuck,
but yeah, I mean, Hofer came up big when the Blues needed him. I thought Hellebuck had the better game just because he had to, but Hofer played very, very well too.
And you know what? I mean, good teams have good goaltending. I don't like how a lot of times people discredit a team's success just because, the goalie's playing well. No, good teams typically have also good goaltending. That's what helps them be a good team. It's a team sport. You need at least a capable offense or defense. You have to have, and the other has to be very good, and you have to have good goaltending. It's hard to win without good goaltending.
Yep.
That's all. So
So Kasperi Kapanen in 4 games with the Oilers, 1 goal and 1 assist. So
that's
it seems like
not too shabby,
it might
though.
be the same situations when the Blues got him. Like, oh man, what a steal!
In a small sample
30
size,
games, Edmonton.
in a small 2, 3, 4, 5 game stretch, Kapanen can put up a few points. He's done that.
Yep.
How is he going to do over 25 games?
Yep.
That's what you got to look at. So, is that Edmonton Knights game over?
No, it's there's like 2 minutes and 40 seconds left.
I'm turning it on now.
1-0 Vegas.
All right. Oh, I don't.
You know who the leading goal scorer is for the Vegas Golden Knights?
Barbashev.
Ivan Barbashev.
Yeah. That's
I miss that guy. But
man, you knew that he was a guy that was going to be missed, even though you knew that he was like the guy that you could get a lot for in a trade, right? I mean, that's just the way it.
So, the guy the Blues got for him, Zach Dean. Have you heard anything about him this season?
No.
Okay, so I hadn't either, and I thought, you know what? That's going in the next Let's Go Blues Minute, which you should, folks, you should look up on your podcasting app. But yeah, I did a show on Monday, and I did like a prospect report. Zach Dean has only played in 3 games this season for the Springfield Thunderbirds because he was injured and listed as day-to-day on October 18th, and he still has not played since then.
Huh.
And I have not seen any updates on him at all. So I'm like, please, anybody who's heard anything about Zach Dean, let me know, because I can't find zilch on him. And I'd be really interested to know, when is this guy going to come back from injury?
That's a great question. Deep dive, deep dig.
I'm going to have to probably reach out to our friend Ryan Smith over with the Springfield Thunderbirds and see if he can get us any information on him, because I've not seen anything about it.
Justin Scott says Holloway and Broberg continue to be a crime by Doug Armstrong. I made an image that I shared on Twitter when I was still on Twitter. A little stamp, strong-armed by Armstrong, and I applied it to the Oilers. So Armstrong, that's a feather in his cap for when he retires. That trade.
Oh yeah. John Hannon in the YouTube chat says, "Hey, why did Falk sit?" All we know is that in the post, this is what I read in the post game notes. So, like, this isn't even something we heard throughout the broadcast tonight. Apparently, he has an upper body injury. He skated this morning and then did not play tonight. Didn't even take part in warm up. So I'm guessing something happened in the pregame skate.
Well, they didn't even. But if they did, it was right at the end, because nobody even said he left pregame skate early or anything. It happened right at the end. Or maybe he pulled a muscle taking his shoulder pads off after the pregame skate in the locker room, or the morning skate.
Hey, you know what? I have pulled my back sneezing, so that's not completely out of the realm of possibility.
A buddy of mine threw out his back eating a bowl of cereal, just leaning over and eating a spoonful of cereal.
My favorite was Dustin Penner back in the day, and I think we talked about it on the show before, when he was playing with the LA Kings and he got hurt. He said he literally hurt himself reaching for another pancake his wife had made him. And it's like, so he ended up like, doing this whole thing with like pancakes. Like he had like a charity where he was like having people make pancakes for like underprivileged kids, which was awesome. But it was like, he totally leaned into it. But it's like, you think about it, these guys are out there working out every damn day. The smallest thing is going to sometimes set your body off. And I can just imagine him just like leaning forward, being like, oh God. Like, I've been there before.
Man, Hill just made, in the Vegas Edmonton game, Hill just made an amazing save on Nugent Hopkins with 1:25 to go, and Edmonton has their goalie pulled. Oh my God. Scramble in front.
Yeah.
Pad save. Jeez.
Beauty.
That was
a beauty.
That's a game saver for now. At least, preserving the lead.
Trees in the YouTube chat says Jeff Ponder checking the side of milk cartons for pictures of Zach Dean. Yeah, I want to know. At this point, I went through Twitter and I typed in every iteration of Dean injury, Zach Dean Thunderbirds, Zach Dean AHL. I'm typing in all this shit to see anything come up, and all I see is he left a game on October 18th with an injury, and he's day to day. And I'm like, that was a month and a half ago. What the fuck?
Barbashev scored tonight too. Is that why you brought that up? Because he scored tonight.
Yes, exactly.
He's got the goal tonight.
Yep.
So Kyrou scores in the third to give the Blues a much needed 3-0 lead, which essentially iced the game.
And Kyrou did what he's supposed to do: shoot the damn puck.
Oh, sure, turn around wrister, right?
That's what I want to see. I know that there are times when, honestly, okay, thinking about what happened a couple months ago, or it wasn't a month, I think it was about maybe 3 weeks ago, where he scored a nice goal, and then he later in the game, like the next shift, he tries to cut across the middle, and he just blindly throws it back to the point. And then the other team, I can't remember who it was the Eastern Conference team, ended up coming down and scoring on the giveaway. And I'm like, Jesus Christ, Kyrou. In that exact play, if he's just shoveling the puck towards the net and it gets blocked and that pops out to center and the other team goes down and scores, I'm not as upset. At least he's trying to get the puck to the net. Because I feel like that is, sorry, that's all he's good for. Get the damn puck to the net. You are a shooter. You are a guy who is supposed to be scoring goals. So, yeah, when he just turned around and whipped it at the net and goes in the net, hell yes, Jordan Kyrou, do that every damn time. Always funnel the puck to the net because that's what you do best.
This goal was a result of some really good work by Holloway. Should have been a penalty when Holloway was pulled down. I was like, I put my arms in the air. I'm like, what the fuck? He just come out of the corner a little bit and he gets yanked down on his butt and ends up playing the puck forward off his butt. But anyway, I'm glad the penalty wasn't called because the Blues did score a few seconds later.
Yep.
But Blues go on the power play after that. Big save by Hofer on this power play. The Jets had a few chances on this power play. It's a bad power play for the Blues.
Yeah, it was.
They had a 2-on-0 breakaway. No pass on the 2-on-0. It was essentially 2-on-0. No pass. Hofer made a nice save. That was kind of a throwaway power play. Scheifele's hit on Kyrou. You saw that against the boards?
Well, yeah. Well, real quick on that power play, that's late enough in the game that I'm I'm okay with the Blues just trying to control the puck.
Oh, right. Sure.
Even if they're just passing it around the neutral zone and the defensive zone, control the puck. But they almost basically give up a 2-on-0. Yeah. What are you doing?
A 2-on-0 and a 2-on-1.
Hold on to the damn puck, boys.
There were some giveaways.
Your goal here is to kill the clock.
Yeah.
And when you're giving up chances like that while you have the power play, you're not doing it right, fellas.
Yeah, it was a bad power play.
Yeah.
Because Winnipeg's gonna be taking chances, so you got to watch out for that.
Mm-hmm. And they've got the offense to do it.
Yes. And again, Scheifele's hit on Kyrou. Don't know how this was not a penalty. This could have been a serious. He could have hurt. Could have gotten hurt. He's standing there facing the glass. I guess you'd argue it was a little irresponsible of Kyrou to put himself in that position. Fine, whatever. But Scheifele just comes and just cracks him, just square in the numbers when he's not off to the side. He didn't turn into it. No, he's just standing there and square in the numbers and just face plants against the glass and nothing. I'm like,
I was surprised there was no call.
I tell you why there wasn't, because we just had a power play and we're up by 3, and I'm like, that's bullshit. I mean, that's, if you're gonna let something go, you can't let that go. Let a hook go. Let a little slash go.
Oh yeah, I've seen, we've all seen like trips late in games, and it's just like they're not going to call that, and it's like a hook. Oh, they're not going to call that. That's one. Yeah, I agree. That I'm like, you got to call that.
It's one. This
I
is
don't
when you
care
call,
if it's 7-0 Blues. You got to make that call.
You have to call that at any point in any game.
Yeah.
I mean, he's lucky he didn't. I mean, he was fine. He was slow getting up, but he was all right, I guess. But that could have been a little worse than it was. Got lucky. I bet you if he falls down on the ice and just lays there, I bet you it's a call.
I think that's a pissed off Jets play. Like Scheifele's going in there going, God damn it, we are not playing well.
We're losing. I kicked the goal in.
Few games. Like this is a division rival. Fuck this. Like I've been in that situation before, but it's just like it doesn't make it okay.
Hellebuyck was pulled with less than 5 minutes to go in the game. Scheifele did score on a rebound off of Parayko, and it kind of grazed off Parayko's side and over Hofer.
It was a nice set play by Winnipeg, though.
Well, it was, yeah. I mean, shot on goal, big rebound at the other side, kind of a rebound, bang, bang play, which it is what it is.
Scheifele's patience on that is what I liked. Like a lot of guys, I think, are crashing the net there. He knew to stay wide, that if the puck comes out, either you've got a good passing lane to somebody else, or you can whip it right back on net. So he played that well.
If he's at the top of the crease, that puck, that rebound, shooting right through his skates. He has no time to react to it. So yeah, no, he was in a good spot for it. Good shot. Even though I'm not sure if it goes in, if it doesn't hit Parayko. It may have gone a little high. It may have hit Hofer sliding across, but it was still a good shot. It was up high, but it hit Parayko and kind of changed direction a little bit and went.
I'm not a geometrist, Kurt. I don't know.
Do you study rocks? Geometrist? Geometry? Whatever. 3:45 to go. Hellebuyck is pulled again, and Thomas scores in the net from his own blue line. 4-1 Blues. Game over. Great game by the Blues. Let me run down the stats here if I can pull them up real quick. I had them up. Now where'd they go?
What are you looking for? I've got them.
There we go. Box score. 32 shots on goal for the Blues, 23 for Winnipeg. Face-offs, you touched on, Jeff, 62% for the Blues, 62.1 and 37.9 for Winnipeg. That's a big difference in today's NHL.
And again, like seriously, you look at historically face-off numbers, and if it's any 50-50 puck on a face-off is going to the home team. So that really goes to show you the Blues really dominated in face-offs in this game.
You know what's interesting? Okay, so we've talked about the whole giveaway stat is full of shit.
It's a terrible stat.
Like, I don't know what qualifies as a giveaway, right? Because there's so many of them. There's giveaways on every shift. But Blues had 18 in the game, so they had 7 defensive zone turnovers. Now, unless the NHL considers turnovers and giveaways as different, but there were 7 defensive zone turnovers in the first period the Blues had. There was 1 in the second. So they had 8 through 2. I don't think they had 10 in the third.
Holy shit.
I don't think they did. I'm just saying.
I mean, are you counting like attempted clears as turnovers? I guess you are.
I don't think so. I wouldn't say so, because you're giving the puck up on a clear anyway.
Dude, I don't know. And and the way I see it too is that the way that I see this, if you have a giveaway, shouldn't that be a takeaway for the other team too?
Well,
but those numbers never add up.
Well, I would say a takeaway is more instigated by the team gaining possession of the puck. I would say a turnover or a giveaway is instigated by the player who has the puck. One is
hard to determine.
I know
the difference, though.
But if you're going to ask me, that's how I'm going to explain it. Like, okay, he didn't give it away; it was taken from him.
All right.
To me, that's different.
Audience, I am going to give you a homework assignment. Somebody in like April or May, remind me of this conversation, because I will do my best to find like some kind of, I don't know. I don't even know if analytics expert is the right word. Like somebody who maybe tries to track NHL stats and see if they can explain what the difference is. Like, what constitutes a giveaway? What constitutes a takeaway? Because it's never made sense to me. Like, I've literally seen, and I mentioned earlier this season, there was literally a game where I saw Nick Leddy pass the puck straight to another player 4 times in a game, yet he had one giveaway. And I'm like, I saw 4. I could literally watch the game tape and show you 4 giveaways he had, but for some reason he was listed as having 1. And it's like, somebody explain this to me, please.
I mean, you got me. We've gone over this before, right? And it's like, I don't know.
It makes no sense.
You have in the notes here, and I'll ask you about it. You said that you didn't think the Blues played particularly great in this game.
I wouldn't say their game was great. I would say they played well.
Okay, I think the Blues played a great game.
I thought Winnipeg played very poorly.
I think it was both. I think Winnipeg. I think if Winnipeg had played the way they're capable of, this could have been a 1-1 overtime game or something. You know, I think the way they had been playing, I think the Blues were noticeably better. But I also think that obviously Winnipeg was not near. I thought Winnipeg played a rather loose. They weren't very.
I think the Blues the Blues played a lot better than they played on Saturday, 100%. And I think this is probably the second best game they've played, maybe third. I don't know. Second best game under Montgomery, outside of the Rangers game, because I think that's the best game they played all year. But I'm not ready to sit here and say the Blues like, oh, they dominated. They were the much, much, much better team, which they were. But it was, to me, more that Winnipeg, I thought, did not play well at all. I did not like their game. They had a couple chances. We mentioned the Hofer saves. But I think overall, they made a lot of mistakes with the puck. Their defensive positioning was fucking terrible. And again, like, if you compare the game tape to when they met, I think it was like October 16th versus this game, you would just be like, that's a completely different team the Blues played. That's not the same team.
I'm not going to disagree with you that Winnipeg played terrible, but I think Hellebuck had a really good game.
Yes,
very good game. Yeah. And I think without him, I think it's 5-1, 6-1. And I think
I agree.
And I think that score. I think two things can be true. I think the Blues played a great game. Their best game of the season, no. I agree with you on the Rangers game. But I think Winnipeg also played poorly. And I think Hellebuck was the only one that made this not a blowout, not 5-6-1.
Yeah.
So
and I'll say the whether you want to agree or disagree with me at all, the thing I think everyone can agree on, seeing them bounce back from what I think was a pretty shit game against Philadelphia, that's the takeaway here. That is the really exciting thing to see, because they had a great bounce back game against a division rival.
Where am I at? So that wraps up the post game for Blues and Jets. The Buchnevich did not play tonight. He skated in Winnipeg, but didn't play in, I guess, pregame or morning skate.
No, he skated in the morning skate.
Morning skate. I say pregame and I mean morning almost every time. Technically, morning is pregame.
That's true. That's true. Hey, you know what? Tonight's game against Winnipeg was a pregame skate for the Calgary game.
So the Blues won their pregame skate scrimmage tonight against the Jets in preparation for their game against Calgary. Winnipeg was that bad.
Yep.
That's funny.
They also don't have an airport.
No. None of those Canadian towns have airports. So hopefully he's good to go on Thursday. You've got LBI. What does that mean? You started typing something, you forgot what it was, or you stopped typing?
Lower body injury.
LBI. Okay. Lower body injury. Gotcha. I don't know. I was like LBI. I thought it looked like you started to type something and you stopped, and I was like, oh,
okay. No, that means lower body injury.
All right. That's all you had though. LBI. I was like, oh, it's like, it looks unfinished to me.
Justin Scott has a couple comments real quick on the game and just in general lately too. Holloway looking like an absolute stud, man. Yeah, I agree. He's been such an awesome addition for this team. He also says that Jets defense wasn't great. The Blues had effort and drive to fight for pucks, Jeff. Look at that Holloway goal, all effort, but Hellebuck kept this game closer than it should have been. Yeah, I think he's kind of agreeing with what we're both saying here that without Connor Hellebuck, this game, even with me thinking the Blues didn't play superb, they still would have put up a 6 spot on any other goalie tonight.
Do they not? Do they move? Where are the 3 stars of the game? They used to have it listed in the column on NHL.com last season, but they don't anymore. I don't know where it is.
Sometimes it might.
I was going to
There
say,
it is. Yeah, it's there. It's the very bottom.
The fuck is
Jordan Kyrou got your first star at 2 goals. Jordan Hofer.
Summary?
Good old Jordan Hofer. Joel Hofer.
Oh, there it is. Okay.
Yeah, he was your second star, and Dylan Holloway got 3rd star with 1 goal and 1 assist.
Yeah, it's hard to see where Hellebuck would fit in there. Maybe
who do you
Holloway?
take out?
Maybe Holloway.
Maybe, but
I think. I mean, I'd like to give Hellebuck some credit because he was really good in this game.
He was really good,
and I guess you got to put Holloway because that was a game-winning goal, though. So I don't.
Yep.
I don't know. If there's 4 stars in this game, I think Hellebuck
plus
is
he
a
had 2
4-star.
points. Holloway played well.
Yeah, I know. I just but
need to do
without Hellebuck, it's not even a contest.
Yep, agreed.
All right. Blues did lose in overtime to the Flyers 3-2 on Saturday night. Jeff didn't like this game. I thought it was not a great game. I don't think I hated it as much as you did, but I don't have many notes in this game.
I just didn't think. I thought Jordan Binnington was phenomenal.
Oh yeah, right.
We got a comment we're going to mention here in a couple of minutes, but I just thought without talking about tonight with Hellebuck, I think without Jordan Binnington, and no offense to Joel Hofer, Binnington played one of the better games I've seen him play in a while, and I think without him, I think this is a 4-0 game going in the 3rd period.
Well, that one save Binnington made, Holloway said it was the best hit he's ever seen.
What save are you talking about, Kurt?
Are we going to get into this now? That would be
let's do it.
That'd be the that'd be Bill Day's save of the week.
All right, let's bring in Bill. Hey guys.
Hey, it's okay. Let's get after it.
All right, now let's do this like us. We don't need to offend Bill any more than we already have.
I love Bill.
All right. Yes, of course. Me too. So, yes, it is time for Bill Day's save of the week without Bill Day. So you see here, Travis Konechny skates in and makes a nice play to cut into the middle, but Jordan Binnington makes the great save. And then on the rebound, wide open net for Sean Couturier, and Jordan Binnington dives and stretches across and makes a ridiculous glove save.
It's great because, I mean, at this point as a goalie, you're flailing. You're just trying to anticipate. You're trying to get the arm out and just take away the area that you can. It's your glove and your arm. You've got like nothing to take up the net, and you just try and get it out there in the way and just try and get a piece of the puck, right? And it actually goes in his glove, and he's just he doesn't even have a skate to push off on. His skates aren't on the ice. He's
that
is
all upper body, just pushing, trying to cover as much net as possible.
Yeah,
and I'll say too, like at first when I saw the save as a shooter, my first thought was, come on, Couturier, you got to get that puck off the ice. Then I saw the replay. He did. I mean, it wasn't top shelf, but he wasn't like he just slid it along the ice in the empty net. He did his best. I mean, he tried to just shovel it at the net. He got it off the ice. Binnington had no business making that save.
He's also at the top of the crease. He doesn't have a lot of room to get it real high on the net. I mean, and obviously at that point, you've got the entire net to shoot at. Get it on net quick because Suter's right there behind him. If he corrals it or dusts it off and tries to take an extra half second and go up top, Suter's cross-checking the shit out, slashing the shit out of his stick. Kasuda's
Well,
right
and like
there.
the other thing to think about too is if you watch this replay, Travis Konechny makes contact after the save.
Right.
You see it here.
Yes.
He makes contact with Binnington, but Binnington just does not give up. You know, he keeps trying to make the save, and it's like sometimes when you see a goalie get made contact like that, it's like game over. You know, like he's not going to try and hyperextend himself and hurt himself. Binnington did not give up on the play and just kept going. I mean, it was ridiculous.
Matt M. Lowe 12 says Binner made a save? Question mark. I don't know. You're not a Binner fan there, Matt? Surprised he made a save?
I'm hoping that is sarcasm. Because his next comment is show the Michkov goal in OT. Laugh out loud. He was there and just got outpowered by the wee little Russian. Yeah, I mean that was Michkov's a hell of a that kid. We're going to be talking about him for a while. He's a hell of a player.
I mean, it was a nice move, but Binnington was like mad at himself because he felt he was there to make the save on that. But I don't. This is the wrong game to be a Binnington rip on Binnington if you're going to do that, because he was fantastic in this game. He's the only reason this game goes to overtime.
Oh, I think this is a 4-0 game going into the third period. If any other goalie's in, because that wasn't the only one. He made some other really nice saves throughout this game.
Is that Scott Wheeler in?
Yeah,
is that Scott Wheeler's account? Are you Scott Wheeler, Matt?
Yep. So this was 1 minute remaining in the second period. Flyers were up 1-0 at this point. He's Matt MLO 12 does say, "Nah, I'm a Binner fan, just like giving him shit." Yeah, well, and he seems like the type of guy that can take getting shit. Like, he seems like that type of guy in the locker room. So I'm sure he would appreciate that.
Just look at him. I mean, his physical appearance. He has to take shit his whole life. He's probably used to it.
Yeah. But no, I really did. I thought he played so well in this game. And Dylan Holloway scoring late in this game, that was so freaking exciting.
Oh,
I'm sorry, it was Jake Neighbors that had the late goal. Holloway scored earlier. But
that
getting that goal late
ago.
And I'll admit, like, this was one of those moments where I was even like, they are so outplayed in this game. I'm like, I just had this feeling. I'm like, they are literally telling themselves, Binner has played so fucking good. We have got to at least get him a point in this game. And I really did think, I'm like, they're going to score. This game is going to overtime, and the Blues are going to win it in OT. I really thought that was going to happen, but at least that is one of those games, because we used to joke all the time when the Blues were a perennial playoff team. We used to say on the show how much we'd get pissed at people when the Blues would have like a 5-3 lead late in the game and they'd blow it. And then people be like, well, at least they got a point in overtime. No, they should have gotten 2 points, and they shouldn't have given away another point. This was a game where it was like, yes, at least we got a point. Because they had no business being in that game.
I thought
their goaltender.
I felt, but so the Blues had late in this game. They had momentum. They had chances. I felt that tying goal coming. I mean, if they're not getting the tying goal, they're getting some great chances, and they got it. And I felt really good about going to overtime. I don't care how most of the game went. I was like, the way that game finished, the Blues had the momentum. They were on a roll. They tied it, and if not for a fantastic play in overtime by Phil, I don't know who made this, the sweeping poke check that sprung the breakaway.
Michkov.
Yeah. The whoever made that play in defense, that was fantastic, because Thomas isn't alone. He split the D. He was in alone, and if not for that sweeping reach back on the poke check, and it swept the puck forward, that was a fantastic play. Thomas may have won the game right there. So. Yeah, it was. I mean, it was. I enjoyed the finish of that game. It's very exciting.
Yeah, it was fun.
Let's see what we got after Bill's save of the week. Next up for the Blues, Thursday, December 5th at Calgary, 8 p.m. Then Saturday the 7th at Edmonton at 9 p.m. Central. Then Tuesday, December 10th at Vancouver, 9 p.m.
Vancouver.
Thursday, December 12th. Versus San Jose. whenever I see San Jose on the schedule, I'm thinking, well, who's in net for this one?
Hey, Bennington played the last one.
Yeah, I know. But I mean, I personally, you got to go back with Hofer after. I mean, I'm sure he'll get a game between San Jose and now, but I think after, as long as he plays well against, probably going to play against. Gosh, I don't know. Surely Bennington plays against Calgary because Hofer played tonight, and
I think
who
Hofer
plays against
gets-
Edmonton?
I think so. I think Hofer gets Edmonton.
Are you kidding? Really? You think so?
They're not the world beaters they were last year.
Maybe. And
I
then
think you go with your starter against Calgary and Vancouver and San Jose and Edmonton. I think you go with Hofer. I think that's what they're going to do. It's not necessarily what I would do,
depending on how things go. But I can see that. You got to go back. You got to go with Hofer against San Jose at least. You got to make that work.
Yeah.
He's got to. Yeah. So we'll see. What happened to my thing that I posted? Oh, rapid fire tidbits from around the NHL. I got one thing I wanted to talk about here real quick, since we're trying to do shorter shows now. Scott Wheeler on Twitter, he writes for The Athletic, covers the Maple Leafs during draft time. So he's a very specific writer, I guess.
Yeah, I'll admit, Scott. So didn't there used to be a radio personality here with the last name of Wheeler?
He's still here. Yeah. I do believe it's Scott Wheeler.
Is it
Same
Scott
name.
Wheeler?
Same
so
name.
when you
Different guy.
posted this in here, I thought, what's this radio guy is against Bennington? But then I had to look and I was like, oh, this random Athletic writer named Scott Wheeler.
Yeah.
Anyway, so the tweet says, it was in response, I guess. What did you say this was regarding? It was
the Team Canada's Four Nations
starting goalies.
Yeah. Well,
Or
he
three
said
goalies.
he posted his 3 goalies, and it was Thompson, Talbot, and Kemper. And he got some flack saying Kemper over Bennington. That's wild. People saying that Bennington should be one of the 3. And then he responds with, Bennington is the most overrated goalie in hockey. And if it's for and he's referring to who would he play in place of Kemper, and he goes, and if you're suggesting he plays instead of Kemper, who I have as my 3rd string goalie on his list, I don't think the veteran career 914 goalie with a cup and 400 games is a wild take. So,
okay, I would actually be willing to. I don't want to say agree with him. I'd be willing to see his point more if he was saying Marc-Andre Fleury. Like the veteran guy that you can have in practice that can like calm everyone down and, be the voice of reason. Darcy fucking Kemper's who you're talking about?
Yeah, I know.
I'm sorry. Give me Jordan Bennington over him at any point in their careers.
I don't know him from whoever, but this kind of comment on social media just strikes me as just the tired line, the one that ages so poorly, but people keep doing it. They're just, they hate on Bennington for whatever reason. They have this etched in their brain that he is a certain low level caliber goalie that got lucky in 2019 and hasn't really played well since. And I was like, that's just not true about him at all. Watch the games, dude. Watch the games. You obviously do not watch the games. And he's trying to say he's the most overrated goalie in hockey when I guarantee you, he's watched him twice this year, and it was when they played Toronto.
Yep.
Guarantee you. Did he play against Toronto?
Yep.
He did.
Yeah, I think he played both games. Yeah.
So
which he played well in.
Yes. Right.
Because they won both games.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. And I agree, man. It's tired, like
it is, isn't it? It's such an ignorant take.
Well, and I still see people saying he's a hothead, crazy fucking psycho, and I'm like, he hasn't done anything like that in 2 fucking years.
And even when he did do that, it was like there's 3 or 4 instances, where it was like, okay, that's he went over the line. The little shit he does is done by everyone.
I don't
But
remember who it was against, but I was watching a game with the other team's broadcast, and there was a skirmish. I mean,
yes,
and it was because
yes.
somebody took an extra hack at Binnington. And yes,
No, someone took an extra hack. Bennington was defending a player. That's what it was. He was all he did was stick the glove. I'm pretty sure this is the same incident. He just sticks the glove in between one of his guys. It may have been
it wasn't even
Holloway. Okay. That's
It
all I
wasn't
did was
even that.
all he did was just
No, there was a situation where someone took an extra hack at him, and I want to say it was Letty, because I think it was maybe that early in the season.
all right.
Took exception and went after him, and Binnington just skated to the corner, like instantly got up, skated to the corner, didn't partake at all. And I'm like, and I remember even the other announcer going like, 2 years ago, Jordan Binnington's taking a swing at that guy. And I'm like, thank you for acknowledging that's not who he really is anymore.
Yeah. Because there was and good on him, right? But to talk about broadcasters who don't have a clue, there was that same the incident I was referring to was this season. It was what the hell was it? It was somebody I think took a shot at there was two players against one behind the Blues net, and so Binnington goes back there, doesn't instigate anything, isn't the aggressor at all. All he does is puts his arm, his trapper hand, his glove hand between the opposing team and the Blues player, just to get some separation, to protect him a little bit, his player. That's all he did. To say, hey, I'm stepping in between here. That's all I did. And the broadcaster says, uh-oh, here we go. Binnington's getting in it, and never really said that he didn't do anything. He was like, oh, what's he gonna do now? I'm like, dude, you're an idiot. Yeah. So, and that's just, a little microcosm of kind of what a lot of people think about Binnington. And now, yeah, a couple of years ago, he may have gone in there and given the guy a face wash with his trapper or given him a shot or something. But even if he had done that, you guys getting double teamed, I don't see a big problem with that. Whatever, give a penalty if it's a penalty, whatever. I never understood the complete exasperation with, oh my God, Binnington's just off the rails. He's crazy. And I'm like, no, he had the stick swinging incident with Kadri. You're right. And he threw a water bottle after a press conference. Whatever.
Well, that wasn't, that was more funny to me. The water bottle was
fantastic.
It was an empty water. Now, if it was even a full water bottle, I'd be like, come on, Jordan. It was an empty water bottle. What the fuck is that going to do? But no, the stick swinging. That, actually. The stick, yeah, I do too. The stick swinging on Kadri, that was dumb. That was, to me, that was the one time where I'm like, come on, Jordan, what are you doing? Like, even if you're not going to make contact, don't do that.
It was dumb. It was dumb, but if you get the one camera angle shows him missing by 5 feet, he had no intention of hitting.
Face Devin Dubnyk fucking talking about how I would have fought him.
You had
your chance, bro.
He had the chance.
Yeah,
there was nobody
to fight him.
There was nobody between him and Binnington as Binnington was skating off, and he did
because that was in San Jose when the away team had to go down the tunnel.
Yeah.
In the
corner. The corner.
He could have fought him then, and all he did was skate out and say something and then skate back into his crease.
He didn't do anything. I mean, if he talks shit after the game, fuck off. I mean,
yeah.
I mean, if you're gonna do something, great, do it. Don't say, well, I would have done this. You had a chance to do it. You didn't do anything.
I think Dubnyk had the best chance out of anyone to fight him, and he did nothing. So when he says that shit, because he said it on, I think he actually said it on, was it the Cam and Strick podcast? He said it on in an interview on a podcast, and I'm like, shut the fuck up. You actually had a chance to.
I know.
So
I know.
But no, I mean, back to this tweet from Scott Wheeler, such a tired narrative. And I will say, I do get kind of annoyed when I see him snubbed from all these Team Canadas, because I'm like, what were the three you said? Logan Thompson, Darcy Kemper, and who was the other one?
Talbot.
Cam Talbot, really?
Cam Talbot, yeah.
I look at that and I'm like, that is just you not wanting to acknowledge that Jordan Binnington's a hell of a goaltender. That's all that is to me.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
And it's like, don't you, these are Canadian people saying this. I'm like, don't you want Team Canada to perform well? Don't you want the best player out there?
One of the responses is to that comment was, Wheeler suffers from Bennington derangement syndrome.
I will never understand that, because a lot of these guys were around when we loved goalies that acted that way, and like for some reason, people just stuck on hating Bennington after the Blues won the Cup and people were rooting for them to beat Boston. After that time, it was like instantly fuck Jordan Bennington in national media and national fan bases.
First off, Wheeler's comment, it's first off, him saying that Bennington is not a very good goalie is just asinine. Second, he's saying he's the most overrated goalie in hockey. Well, that's not even true either, because what do people say about? I mean, people have actually complained that he's underrated.
Oh yeah,
like he doesn't get
100%.
credit for what he does, and he's one of the most underrated goalies in the NHL, and people hate on him. But then he says, he's overrated. Yeah, and Patrick Yoder says that. He goes, everyone underrates and hates on Bennington, and then he puts quotes for Scott Wheeler. He's overrated. He goes, pick one, window licker. Window licker. That's a great little. I'm gonna like that. No, I can't. I'm not on Twitter anymore. I can't interact on Twitter.
Okay, I'll like it.
There's no likes on that post. It was a good one.
All right, I'll like it. But no, I just it's again to some. So tired of that shit, and I'm going to laugh. Literally, I am going to fucking laugh on this show when Jordan Bennington is selected for Team Canada and he plays very fucking well with a good defense in front of him, and Canada wins the whole thing, and all of a sudden we're going to hear Canadians saying, oh wow, Jordan Bennington's actually pretty good. Why haven't we seen this for the last 5 years? We have. We fucking have.
Bennington is 5th in the NHL in wins since he came into the league. 5th in wins.
And that's with 2 years of being behind a bad team.
Mm-hmm. Since the 18-19 season, he is 5th in wins in the NHL. According to the Drop Hockey Show, actually made a post. It was in this.
I saw that.
Yeah. That's according to him. So assuming that's accurate, that's according to him.
I think it is. I
could look it up, but
I saw going into the season he was like 5th or 6th, so that doesn't surprise me.
Yeah. Anyway, that was I found that interesting, irritating, whatever. It's just dumb. Just like you're a professional sports writer that covers hockey at least part of the year. Fucking, I mean, Jesus Christ, that's bad.
Right in time, Trees. You are getting comment of the show. National press 5 minutes after Jordan Bennington wins the Conn Smythe for 4 straight shutouts in the Stanley Cup final. Here's why Bennington is overrated. Yep. Yep. There's a lot of really good shit at The Athletic, and I will 100% tell you it is worth your money, because it is not expensive.
Oh, they have some
to
deals
subscribe to The Athletic just for Jeremy Rutherford alone.
Oh yeah,
and there are some really damn good. Haley Sivian that writes about the PWHL, she's great. There's a lot of great content. Katie Wu for The Athletic, at the Cardinals, she's great. There's a lot of great stuff at The Athletic, but it does suck. And it's probably this way with any national reporting. For as much good content as there is fucking awful content. And it seems like this guy might fall into the awful category.
I mean, there are well-known sports writers that put out awful shit. Like, remember Woody Page?
God, yes.
Colorado.
Yeah,
he was horrible. I mean, as far as like being a homer and just hating on other teams, and his writing wasn't factually accurate. It was all opinion based, which I guess is what his deal was. But he was constantly making stupid comments about opposing teams and players and things.
What is it with Colorado sports writers? Adrian Dater, remember him?
Yeah, God. Fuck. Is he still around? He still writes up there?
Hey, not for The Athletic. He's not. I think he's blogging.
God, he was terrible. I don't know. There's the thin air up there that messes with people's brains. That's all I got, Jeff. I think. Anything
That's
else?
all I got. Let's Go Blues Minute. Make sure you hit that subscribe button to podcast. And again, for those of you who might have just tuned in live, that is a new show that I'm doing. It is a child show of Let's Go Blues Radio. Go on your podcasting app and type in Let's Go Blues Minute and subscribe. You'll get a couple shows a week. You
need to share the link when you post it on Twitter. I
don't know what to share. Do I share the Spotify link? Do I share
Spotify? Sure.
Okay.
I think, you can listen to Spotify for free. You don't have to have an account to listen to Spotify. Right? So.
Yeah, I mean, well, I guess I could do what we do with Let's Go Blues radio shows and just post a couple of the different links because it's on Apple, Podbean, all those other ones. So
yeah,
maybe I'll start doing that. That's a good call.
Yeah, I've seen the. I meant to say it to you. I was like, oh, you should post a link too.
Yeah, all right, I'll start doing that.
Yep.
Well, anyway, either way, go on your podcasting app and your favorite one and type in Let's Go Blues Minute, subscribe, and you will get a couple shows a week and hear my lovely, sultry voice every morning.
Do you know what you know how when we do the closing, sometimes we do like a little something before we do Let's Go Blues.
Mm-hmm.
Like I still have in here what I said a couple weeks ago, and I'll say it again. And so It's kind of funny. It's kind of funny.
Fuck Wyshynski?
No. That was. When was that? That was something I sent to you guys after the Blues beat the Devils.
Probably, yeah.
Wyshynski, yeah. Benton does it again. He fucks Wyshynski again. That'll wrap up episode 10 of season 14 of the original St. Louis Blues Hockey Podcast. Let's Go Blues Radio. Thank you for listening, and thanks to those who participated in the YouTube and Facebook live chats during the live show. We hope you enjoyed it as much as we've enjoyed bringing it to you. For Jeff Ponder and the allegations-laden Bill Day. I'm Kurt Price. Until next time, everyone, hire Monty. Let's go Blues.
I'm glad we hired Monty. Let's go Blues.
Mark Goodson television production.
Sit, Ubu, sit. Good dog.
I found prints! No, fingerprints. I don't think so.
Kmart is more than any store you have known before. Kmart means you get quality